Welcome to yoga today. So we're just going to start off in child's pose. You can take a moment and get your mat and come down to the hands and the knees and slide the hands forward and breathe here. And just feeling the long lifted line of the bones of the arm through the shoulder, which is pulling down the back. I'm thinking of docking the head of the arm back into the shoulder joint. The shoulder blades come flat in against the back. Be sensitive through the hands, through the spread of the fingers. Hi. And drop the head. And just breathing here. Child's pose. So the 10 fingers are like a fan spreading out into the ground. The head of the radius, the inner edge of the forearm to the thumb, and the ulna, the outer edge of the forearm to the pinky finger edge, are parallel in space, they're even in space. And then those two bones each rotate to form the elbow. And then you've got the humerus from the elbow through to the shoulder socket, and you want to pull the head of the humerus right into the back, right into the shoulder socket. Elbows are still straight and lifted. And you're broadening and flattening the shoulder blades. Slide the sitting bones back toward the wall behind just a little bit, enough to help deepen the hip crease. Pull the floating ribs in, tuck in tightly. This is a quite active child's pose that we're doing. It's like we're about to pounce. Kind of curl into it, breathe into your back, maybe like tuck into a tighter little ball. The muscles of the upper back should really be firing. Tummy is firing, the hips are reaching back. You're curling up into a little seashell. But still working with the length of the spine. Starting to lengthen from the upper back between the shoulders forward into the crown of the head. So the chin slides down a little bit. Crown of the head is beaming like a searchlight toward the ground between the hands, so just in front of the hands. And we're going to inhale. With the exhalation, slide the hands back by the feet. And just let the elbows rest down and take a little moment to soften into the body. And then reaching up and around, interlacing the fingers behind the back. And go ahead and extend the arms up. Pressing the palms together. Feeling the grip of the hands. Again, feeling where the inner edge of the wrist bone is and where the outer edge of the wrist bone is. The wrist bones spiraling up out of the elbows. The head of the humerus docked into the shoulder joint. Shoulder blades are sort of squeezing in flat and together. And then we're going to come up to seated on the heels. So just reach up into the hands. Lift the chest. And go ahead and take that and come closer. Take the heart open. And breathe right up into your collarbones. Sweeping the arms up. Interlacing the fingers. Press up through the palms. Then go ahead and swing the floating ribs in. Pull the sides of the tummy back, sides of the waist back. We're shooting the arms up out of the shoulder joints. Again, shoulders docking, arms down the back. We're squeezing in through the lower belly, just above the pubic bone, through the pelvic floor. And ushering the breath in and out of the body. One big inhalation here. Exhaling, press into the palms, drop the top of the shoulder and slowly just bring the hands right down to shoulder height. Powerfully. I'm going to breathe, float the jaw, reach into the crown of the head, press out into the palms. Exhale and then gliding the hands forward. Like you've got a big spotlight. Exhale and go ahead and wrap the arms right around the chest. Take your fingertips around your shoulder blades and just give a squeeze right into the center line. Hug the front of your heart. So you're really squeezing your shoulders together, squeezing. And open the back of the heart. And take your breath right up into the upper back. Squeeze the front of the chest, open the upper back. And we're just going to burst the arms open. And again, turn the palms up. Press into the palms, lift the elbows, flow the shoulders away from the ears. Think cobra a little bit with your upper back. And then slowly beaming the hands forward. Keep the shoulders dropped. Front of the neck is long and soft. Back of the neck also long and soft. Breathing there. And then crossing the left arm on top. It feels so lovely on the chest. Maybe somebody will do this class later, but for now I'm just teaching into like empty cyberspace, which is wild. That's okay, I'm kind of okay with it. It's like a witnessed self-practice. That's what it becomes. So squeezing right in, hug the fronts of the shoulders, open the upper back. Breathe. Two more moments there, letting the shoulder blades melt forward, wrapping around the sides of the body. And kind of swing the very tip of the shoulder blade into the side of the back, so you're engaging the outer edge of the armpits. Bring the tip of the shoulder blade forward and in. Upper back is broadening. And the chest is really getting a nice squeeze. And we're going to breathe. And we're just about to burst. And burst. And just give your shoulders a couple of rolls and let the arms sort of snake down out of the shoulder joints. And go ahead and shake the hands, shake just the fingers. One hand clapping open and close the fingers. Roll the wrists, roll the elbows, roll the shoulders. And then we're just going to squeeze the fingertips right into the tips of the shoulders. And go ahead and come up to your toes. So you get the toes tucked under. Fingertips right at the tips of the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale and go ahead and sweep the elbows together. And reach into the upper back. And take the elbows up. And rotating the arms in the shoulder sockets. Almost tracing a big circle. And elbows together, squeeze your shoulders in, squeeze your chest. Broaden the upper back, pull your tummy back. Lift the elbows. Sweeping your wings all the way back. And shift back into a squat. And do that again. Sweeping the elbows forward. It's very bird-like here. And tuck your little wings in behind. I tuck my little wings in behind. And then sweeping one more time, the elbows forward, up and around. And exhaling, reaching them back. And then we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Take the hips up and come into a delightful forward bend after all that sitting on the knees. Go ahead and reach the arms away from the back. Drop the head. Feel the elbows open up. So again, kind of feeling the alignment of the two bones of each wrist in relation to each other. They should be parallel to each other. So the heads of the uluses and the radiuses in both, ulnas and the radiuses, yes, in both wrists. And then the spiral from the wrist through to the elbow, the docking of the head of the humerus into the shoulder joint. And then inhaling, we're just going to come all the way up, like peel up with your chest. Lift your chin so your kind of back of the head is tucked into the tops of the shoulders almost. And we just dive, 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 dive. Up. Take the breath right up to the collarbones. Lift the chest. And just breathe there. Pouring the arms right down out of the shoulders. Open up across the heart. Squeezing the shoulder blades in against each other, in against the back. And then opening the fingertips and just sweeping the arms open. And again, rolling through the shoulders, rolling all the way through to each fingertip. Move a little shake out. A little bounce of the shoulder girdle. And keep on bouncing there right down to the fingertips. Like shake the arms out of the shoulders. Breathe. And then let's go ahead and keep opening the elbows. So spinning the elbows right open. The palms are reaching open. The fingers are all spreading. You're breathing away. So sort of like chi energy, like twangy almost kind of stretch. And go ahead and bring the right heel forward. Bend the knees. And then the left heel forward. Bend the knees. The right heel up. Bend the knees, the left heel up. Bend the knees. We're going to start to keep doing that, but we're going to start to move the hands. So the thumbs come in and down, and then you spiral the baby finger forward, up and in. And the heels are still working. It's like you're going around a ball, an orb, with each hand. Noticing the lift and placement of the shoulders. A couple more. A little bit bigger of a circle. A little bit bigger still. So you're really working the head of the shoulder, the head of the arm bone and the shoulder joint. So like a ball and socket sort of thing. And you're trying to make that journey around really well oiled, really smooth. And circle getting a little smaller again. Still moving with the feet. A little smaller still. Keep the head of the chest neutral, so you're not swinging back and forth. That's just real. The arms are doing the action. A little smaller again. And then again, just shake it out. Taking the right arm across the chest, and then taking the right foot up to the left inner leg. You can go ahead and adjust it if you'd like to. I would like to. Again, the right arm across the chest. Right knee pressing back. Interact with the breathing. Feel the way your skeleton does it. Inhaling, extend up through both arms. Shoot sparks up into the fingertips. Shoulders are still pulled down. Again, trying to feel in those, like the heads of each wrist. Inside and outside, parallel to the other wrist. Spiraling down to the elbows. Dropping down through the humerus. Shoulder docking into the back. And still we breathe. Inhale. Exhaling, interlace the fingers all the way back behind the back. Inhaling, lift the chest. Exhaling, the right leg is going to go back. And see if you can just catch the right foot into the hands. And breathe there for a moment. That right knee dropping down. Lifting up out of the left hip. Breathing. And a little circle with that right knee. Gently exploring the range of motion. And then just let it go. Shake your leg out, swing it around. And then we'll see if we can do the other side. So the left side of the foot up to the right inner thigh. Left arm across the chest. Clamp. And you breathe. I'm just enjoying the geometry of the shape you're in. You got your 5 phalanges. Phalanges. The metacarpals, the wrists, the elbows, the head of each shoulder, the ribcage, the abdomen, the pelvic muscles, the firing of each individual leg, all the way down to the sole of the foot. And we breathe. Then we shift the geometry of it, take both arms up. Then growing. See if you can grow as much into your thumb edge. Again, palms are facing toward each other. As much into your thumb edge from the back of the heel as you are into the pinky edge from the tip of the toes. Or really kind of both from the sole of the foot. And breathe here. Exhaling, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, extend the arms. And then exhaling, glide that left foot into the hands. And turn to the side. And breathe for a moment here. And just watch yourself take it on. And get used to it. Drop tension where you don't need tension. Keep life where you need a bit of life. Maybe a little circle of that knee. Breathe. And then swinging it out. Let it go. And replace your feet to the ground. And inhaling, taking both arms up. Exhaling, folding over. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhaling, curling into the legs. Just hanging in there for a few moments. Feel the sitting bones lifting, feel the spine pouring down, water falling down out of the hips. Interact with the breathing. Try to really get into the sensation of the weight of the head pulling more length into the upper back. And keep breathing. And then let's take a little twist. So let's bring the legs a little bit wider. Feet a little bit wider, but not that much wider. So kind of a wide hip width apart. Slide your right arm underneath the right leg. Right hand up outside the hip. And taking the left arm up behind the back. And we breathe. So again, the right arm is inside the right leg. The right hand moves out to the right. The elbow bends, your hand is up outside your hip. Knees can be as bent as they need to be. This position might not be for everybody. But whatever you're doing, whatever version of it you're doing, it's a forward bending twist. Hug right into it. Spine is still lengthening. Shoulder sockets are still squeezing. You still have a relationship with gravity. You still have a relationship with your breath. And like all of your sensory feedback. Like how much can you take in? A couple more moments here. You might look in as you've been here for a little bit longer. See if you can look for a little bit more subtlety within it. Like ease off if you need to, or ease back in if you need to. Shift around, let it move. And then let it go. Inhaling, swing forward. And the other side. So the left knee softens, left arm goes back. In between the two legs, left hand moves out to the left. Out to the left. And then upper arm behind the outside edge of the left hip. And we squeeze in, we breathe. Try to kind of drop your tummy up and in toward the pelvis, like up and in. So you're not engaging and pulling it, it's just releasing your abdominal muscles and the kind of a hollow, light sensation in the front of the hips. Keep breathing into what you got. And find a way to even be thankful for what you got. Two more breaths, squeeze into it, look for something new. And then releasing. And we're going to sit all the way down. Take the legs open wide. And kind of taking the flesh out from into the sitting bones, rolling the inner thighs up toward the ceiling. So your upper thighs are spiraling open. We're just going to inhale up tall here. With the exhalation, just sit yourself down into the ground. Grow up out of the pelvis. The shoulders are down. We're just going to take the left arm up and reach over the right leg. And then inhale, we come back up again. Come up the middle and the other side, right arm comes up and over. Back up the middle, inhale. Right arm, left arm comes over. Inhale, back up the middle, like a jack in a box, over to the left. And back up again, first side. Like just smoothing these pathways for your body. You're just increasing your range of comfortable motion. And as you increase the range of the motion, you also want to increase the comfortableness, the comfort of the motion. So not necessarily pushing, but just really feeling smoothness and comfort and a sense of release within the range that you've got. And then we're just going to twist, take the left fingertips forward, right fingertips back, try to keep that left hip grounded. Breathe. Exhale to the other side. Sit tall up out of the hips, lengthen your legs in the direction that they point. One more breath. And then let it release. And let's come into, I'm just going to take the time. This time. So we're just going to come into downward dog. So the hands on the ground, hips up and back. Drop your heels. Spread your 10 fingers, spread your palms. Spread your fingers and your toes. And breathe. The shoulders feeling quite good now, sanding down the back, docking the head of the shoulder socket. And feeling the two bones at the base of the thumb and the base of the pinky finger, the two wrist bones on each side of the hand, parallel in space. The elbows, the eye of the elbow slightly rolling forward. And the top of the chest getting broader. The shoulders docking into the outer edge of the armpit. And we breathe, release the jaw, release the eyes, release the face. perfection of sensation. And then go ahead and swing the knees forward, so your wrists stop under your shoulders, stop over your wrists. So the knees swing forward. And then we're going to swing the hips up and back again. The knees swing forward, stop on a dime. Up and back again. Again. And slide up. And slide up. And slide up. One more. And just hovering there for a couple moments. The knees are off the ground. Lengthening the chest up toward the back. I'm going to take the knees down and draw the tummy up to the spine and lift the chest up toward the back so your two arms are feeling quite long. Bring the shoulder blades down and in against the back. And breathe. Feel the lower tummy muscles kick up, pelvic floor is engaging. Slide the pubic bone back a little bit so your sitting bones go more open. And then slide your tailbone down a little bit so that your pubic bone draws in a little bit, pelvic floor closes. And just playing with the orientation of the pelvis. Try to feel the triangle created by the pubic bone and the two hip bones. And see if you can feel where parallel to the ground is with that little triangle. Perceptions are sometimes not accurate. It doesn't really matter though. Try to feel the orientation of, again, that little triangle, pubic bone and two hip bones. Feeling the orientation toward the ground. And then just letting your hips start to slide back and forth a little bit. Snake your spine. Make your body purr. Breathing. And then let's just come back into child's pose for a few breaths. So just come back to sit on the heels, because all I want to do is shake my wrists. Shake the arms, shake the shoulders. Pop, pop. Arms, hands open. Oh. And then turning your fingertips in outside your hips and bringing the wrists together. And breathing. And just opening the front of the forearm. Has anything ever felt so good in our entire lives? Possibly. Breathe. Like polish the crown of the head, reach up into the crown of the head, shoulders are still moving down. So you're just checking in, like containing the energy of the body. Like you know where your pelvis is, you know where those muscles engage. You know where your chest is, you know where your shoulders and shoulder blades are. Crown of the head is lengthening up, the jaw is soft. So it's a little animal sense of like, yeah, really knowing where you are in space. And turn the fingers in so your palms are facing up and backs of the wrists toward each other. Elbows are sort of scooping forward. You want to breathe. And then we'll steamroll the fingers, bring the hands onto the ground. Step back a little bit and then just forward through one knuckle at a time and backward through one knuckle at a time. Rolling the fingers. And then let's go ahead and kick the hips over to the right. So the heels come over to the left. So we're sitting askew. And we're going to twist this. So go ahead and bring the, not quite a twist, so the left hand across to the right knee. And then the right fingertips up. And we breathe. Lengthening from the right hip socket up through to the right fingertips. Right side waist is like an accordion, stretching open. You just want to lengthen that line. Lengthen, lengthen. For now, let's give up on plugging the shoulder into the back And see if you can just reach your arm right up. Now, if you're a hypermobile person like I tend to be, I always want to keep some sense of docking in the shoulder joint so I don't like hyperextend my arm or reach it right out of socket. But probably for most people it's okay to really just feed a reach. If you're hypermobile, then keep docking your arm. But dock your arm and play with this concept of reaching. Like your friend is dangling off of a cliff and you're just able to reach for them. The stakes are high, everyone, the stakes are high. Inhale. Exhaling. Let go of the side bend. Bend that right elbow just for a little moment. Take the left hand up to the right elbow. Try to turn off, soften, and drop the back edge of the shoulder, like the top of the shoulder between the neck and the shoulder joint. And if you can, even take your thumb right into that muscle there and see if you can just kind of, yes, palpate it is the word, palpate. And then let it go, shake off, swap around for the other side. This is Ardha Vajrasana, the right hand to the left knee. So across the body, I'm sitting on my left heel here, my foot is under my thigh, my foot is turned up, so the arch of my foot is cradling the round of my thigh. It's a good fit. Right hand to left knee, left hand up, and we breathe. So taking a couple of moments just to get used to being in this position. Like notice what calls your awareness first. Spread up out of the hips. And so the more time you spend here, the more luxuriousness you have to develop it. Breathe. Glorious breath. Oh, almost yawning or actually yawning. So this sense is pandiculation, which just means like reaching into an engagement of the muscle. So you're reaching into engagement. So what happens when we yawn? So we actually are engaging the muscle as we stretch it. And it just feels so lovely. And again, if you're someone who's working with docking that shoulder into the joint, the arm into the shoulder joint, go for it. Otherwise, yeah, really feeding that intention of reaching up, 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 both sides of the wrist, both sides of the hand. Pour up, surge up. And then bending the left elbow, taking the hand behind the back. Shoulders feel good. And preparing to depart. Preparing stations for departure, I believe is the phrase. There's a little airline humor there. And just rolling the shoulders, shaking them out, do what you need to do. I'll do what I need to do. And let's go ahead and cross the legs into a more regular position or sit some other way, however you need. It's just a shoulder class, it can't be helped. Shoulders and neck. So reaching the fingers out, interlacing the fingers, tug the shoulders, snug the shoulders down back so the sides of the neck feel long. And like flowing the arms away from the upper back. Go ahead and pop the chin up. Reach into your chin. And then even extending through the lower lip. So if you can lift the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth. And again, like almost building that sensation in your throat like a yawn. Breathing. So again, the base of the tongue up, you're lifting the tongue toward the top of the mouth, sticking up the chin, reaching into the lower lip. Just feeling the muscles at the base of the tongue. There are muscles there. The tongue is a weird thing. And then tilt your chin up to the right a little bit, or like the jawbone up to the right a little bit, and send the right shoulder down. Breathe, and the other way. Oh. Breathe. And stay. And back center again. And just feel your shoulders, give it a little shake. Let's come on down to the belly. So just resting the head onto the mat. Rest your hands down by your hips and just arriving with your whole body softly and consciously into the ground. As you breathe, really let your belly open softly down. The kidney area, small at the back, is floating. The kidneys are sort of floating open away from each other. The inner thighs are spiraling slightly up toward the ceiling so that the lower back feels just that hair more broad. We're breathing and we're receiving the ground, like receiving the imprint of gravity. Receiving also the imprint of our interaction with the air, with the atmosphere in our rooms. It's breathing in balance. So inhale oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide. It's really good to just get like a basic thing right, isn't it? Inhaling oxygen, exhaling carbon dioxide. Got this, yeah. Breathing away. And let's continue to do that since it's such a winner, and bring the elbows underneath the shoulders and spread the fingers. And just draping forward into your heart. Feel the whole cage of the ribs like swing forward and open. Try to get into the spaces between the rib cage. The serratus like fingers going down in between the ribs, and the intercostals a little bit higher up on the ribs. And we breathe. And just exploring from inside. Like unraveling the mysteries of sensation. Unraveling the mysteries of our particular experiences here on the earth. Just by really paying attention to them, deepening your understanding. Breathe, press down then into the shoulders, down through the elbows, rather to lift up out of the shoulders. Shoulder blades in against the back. The solar plexus is like a train steadily rolling forward, inexorably. We're here like powering up. I feel like a diesel engine about to charge forward, gathering steam, gathering thunder. For what? I do not know. For the world around us. Folks, let us gather our steam and gather our thunder. Breathe right up to your collarbones, press into the hands, elbows have lifted now, shoulders are still reaching down the back. Interact with the sensation, reach into it as necessary, find ease as necessary, still like thundering up. Lower back muscles are pressing in and down, like down, down, down toward the ground. The glutes are starting to kick in, but go ahead and spin the inner thighs up again so that your hips, the back of the hips widens. There's just a little bit more space for a back bend. Shoulders are down, elbows are soft and dropped. And we breathe. And you're going at the pace of your body's invitation. Try to be really sensitive to what that is. Maybe 2 more breaths and kick it in. And then come on back down again. And watch this process like receive the ground like a caterpillar tread, lying down onto the ground. And breathe into what you are doing, which in this case is receiving the ground and softening the body and feeling the curves of the spine. The soles of the feet open, the backs of the legs open, the back of the back opens. Feeling the heavy drape of the lumbar spine, the lower back spine, kind of hanging down toward the ground, and then the thoracic spine fanning it back up again. And go ahead and meet the hands behind the back, so the backs of the hands are on the kidney area and the elbows are dropping forward. And just breathing very softly. So you can step deeper into the ground again and again. And then taking the left arm right underneath the chest. Put your forehead down. Scoot your shoulder over a little bit toward the right so it's more in line with your center. And then so you open the right arm up. So we're twisting, a big twist. By the time we kick in to support the front spine, support the internal body. And then exhaling, just closing it back down again, so your right arm lies down on top of your left arm and your head can drop. And breathing into that space between the left spine and the left shoulder blade and wherever else is calling your awareness. And try to let your awareness be sort of called by the whole body, like your entire experience, including gravity, including levity. Again, like how much perception can you hold at once? Be receiving relaxed calm about it. And then the other side. Right arm sliding underneath, forehead to the ground. Breathe. And soften through the left arm and the left shoulder for now. And soften the inner edge of the right chest at the armpit. And then slide your right shoulder in a little bit more toward the center line. And see if you can open that left arm. Oh, my back is cracking. Inhale. And exhaling, just offer your tummy up toward your spine. Feel the way that the muscles of the abdomen wrap around the spiral. Breathe. Inhale there. And exhale there also. I'm so tricky. And the left hand floating back down again. So your left arm is lying on top of your right arm and your head is on the ground somehow. And again, broaden your perception, broaden your perceiving. Like even with your eyes closed, like how much can you perceive? Your sensory body in the room around you, taking in the textures of the ground, taking in like the textures of your location as they're fed to you with closed eyes. And go ahead and release. One more time up into Sphinx, so the elbows are on the ground, hands are spreading, elbows are shoulder width apart. Swing the cage of the ribs forward. Bring your upper back in. Breath right up to the collarbones. The front of the throat is soft and long. So you can lift again the base of the tongue slightly, like you're lifting your tongue to touch the roof of your mouth. So you can keep that little hollowed sense in the bottom of the chin, the bottom of the jaw. Crown of the head can drop, back of the neck long, let your windpipe lengthen. And you're offering the windpipe all the way down to the diaphragm, like all the way down through the lungs to the diaphragm as it pulls the lungs down. Let's just crawl the elbows forward, take the fingertips up to the back of the head and just stretching the back of the neck. Breathe in there and then grow forward into the crown of the head, the contact point. Shoulders down the back. Breathe. And then inhaling, the face comes back up again. I'll come all the way over onto the back. I'm just resting the feet onto the ground, resting the legs down into the feet, resting the legs down into the hips, resting the hips back through themselves. So if you can release from the inner edge of the knee through to the inner edge of each sitting bone. Feet are soft and spread out into the ground. The pelvis is falling back through itself. The gut is falling back through itself. Kidney area releasing open. The solar plexus, the sternum. The sternum's kind of softly glowing and down toward the center of the chest, the space between the two shoulder sockets, between the two armpits. You could go to a sphere of energy or sphere of light, Mitsuya that contained in the space just beyond the heart through to the shoulder sockets. Second little sphere of energy just behind the throat, the base of the throat. So quite close to each other. If we're talking chakras, or if we're talking like energy centers in the body, like we all know that it makes sense to carry love in our hearts, and also like the opposite of love, pain in our hearts. It's the opposite of love. Hate is the opposite of love. Indifference is the opposite of love, as Elie Wiesel, the poet laureate, said. He was a survivor of the concentration camps. Like the opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. And so here we get to be brave and really just feel our hearts. So not be indifferent to the textures of our hearts. We want to really pay attention to the textures of our hearts. Sometimes we go ahead and catch feelings. And so if you're having feelings, let them wash over you. You'll be in them. If you're not having feelings, you're still having sensation. So being with that sensation, settling into it, it's a glow, so keep on releasing into a sense of expansion about it. The back of the heart, the shoulders, the base of the throat, the jaw, releasing high up between the two temples. So you can kind of explore, again, imagine a little sphere of light, if you'd like to, or a little energy center, about 1 inch above the eyebrows, about 2 inches deep, so again, like high up between the two temples. There's so much there. It's like frontal lobe, it's active thinking, doing, it's like our, the pituitary, which is like hormonal regulation, the pineal gland, which they say is the home of the spirit, like the home of the soul in the body. Yeah, I think our whole bodies are the homes of our souls, though. So, the home of our soul, I think, is our body. And our pineal gland, and our pituitary gland, and our frontal lobes, and the way our brain processes. And the parietal lobes of the brain in the back, which is where like sensory information processes. I love the brain. Let me breathe. And I'm beginning to deepen the breathing even. If you can further release through the sensation in the head, in the throat, in the chest, in the hips, in the solar plexus, please do further release as you begin to deepen the breath. And reach the arms up overhead and lengthen each leg. And then curling over to the side. Using the arms to come up. And just sitting for a moment here. Just get yourself comfy. And maybe thinking of kind of a trickle-down effect here. So we're just talking about all this like lightness and openness. Receptivity, like all the way 368 degrees around the head. Maybe go ahead and take your hands up because it's like a lovely little energetic interaction you can sometimes tune in with. And letting yourself just quiet right down. And just watching this very moment of your own personal balance as you sit on the world here. Sitting on the world, sitting in the world. And you're kind of gathering yourself as you breathe. Again, just working with what you've got. And really deeply noticing what you've got. Soften. And then see if you can kind of turn up your inner body brightness. Like turn up your little energetic charge a little bit. It's all about perception. So if those words don't work for you, so dial it up. Lighten up, Kind of like the sunbeam inside the body is more intense and more warm. And see if you can keep that sort of bright openness and just find ease again within that. Moving the hands together right at the center line. Just finding a moment of gratitude of having this miraculous, again, the most basic miracle of an experience of a body. To have the energy that animates your body fully and well. And I think that the energy that animates our body is kind of the definition of a soul. Please, I will join myself. I will join the internet. I will join the whole entire world in singing one Om. Go forth and thunder.